Me when I feel 1% of the suffering of your average woman. People are really mad right now. Gen Z is cooked because it turns out, believe it or not, shocker of all shockers, men are voting on the right. Definitely subscribe for future fantastic news, but it turns out a lot of people don't actually care. Get ready to get absolutely buck-broken by the reality of what we are about to witness. We are going to be talking about something very funny. We are going to be talking about Dean Withers, everyone's favorite leftist debater. But first, let's talk about the actual existential meltdown that is, people are going right.
So you have some people that are very, very surprised that Gen Z guys are very right-wing.
Context. On a new poll by Pew Research, something insane came up, with Conservatives losing votes with the oldest generation while gaining massively with the youngest one, including women aged 18 to 29.
Over half of all guys
Why
that are
would this
Gen
happen?
Z young guys are Republican and right-wing.
This was posted on the Gen
And
Z...
remember, this is including gay people and white knights that are trying to get pussy. All right, I'll be real. They are included in this statistic.
subreddit, and people were freaking out.
I'm a younger millennial, and when I was growing up, nearly everyone under 30 was liberal, left-leaning, or disliked the Republicans.
True. Everyone was saying the right are racist. They're evil and racist. Racist and evil. This is so sad. They're obviously bad people, white supremacists. You should hate yourself, actually. And men don't care anymore. Men do not give a shit. You're like, you know what? Fuck you. Don't care. You could call me racist, but I literally do not care. And it's
there
over.
seems to have been a vibe shift where Gen Z overall still leans Democratic, but there is a deep and polarized gender schism. Gen Z women are leaning hard Democratic, where Gen Z men are leaning hard most Republican. Why? Are you guys hearing this on the ground? Is this the trad wife stuff too? Is it dating apps? Is it radical toxic feminism? Young men, tell me how you really feel. Others chime in too. This is a safe space for your perplexed millennial liberal uncle. And by the way, it's not a safe space. It's a locked post, because people are getting opinions that they didn't want to hear. So this is the reason why there's a big difference between the genders. The reason
You're
why
ready to cook? You ready for the Asmon analysis? Are you ready? It's gonna be good.
is because women in Gen Z have been the beneficiaries of the policies and initiatives that men have been the victims of.
Completely correct. Completely correct, because women are seen as the poor, the sad minorities for some reason, even though they're literally half the population. The poor women suffering at the hands of men. They just want to kill babies in peace. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so mean to women. Obviously, this isn't all women. This is just the retards. And just like how there are retards that are men, there are also retards that are women, it turns out. Yes, this is the reality. Yeah, it turns out women are not exactly doing super well right now. The internet didn't radicalize me, women did.
You have women that are getting advantages in college, getting advantages in hiring processes, getting advantages in promotions. You have a lot of guys.
And also getting advantages in culture, just in basic culture. Like, dude, you don't understand. White men are demonized. Literally demonized, okay? Women aren't. Because women, they're just virtue signaling. They are running so fast. Not all of them, obviously, but the majority, I'll be real, the majority, your average liberal white woman is retarded. Sorry, don't want to be that guy, but they were fucking manipulated, emotionally manipulated into becoming a libtard. And they're out there and they're chanting Black Lives Matter and how white people are oppressors and how all men are rapists. And you know what? They're getting clout for it. If you're a man and you say what you just say the things that you think, you get banned everywhere. You lose your job. They will harass you, okay? They will harass you. You will lose your job. Make this make sense. Make this make sense. A liberal woman saying, I was pregnant and I killed my baby, gets cheered on. A man says, she killed my baby, and he's banned from everywhere, loses his job, fired, labeled as an enemy to women everywhere. Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. And men are noticing that they tried. They fucking tried. Men tried really hard. They did. Zoomers especially. The Zoomer men, new generation of men, they tried to respect people's pronouns and respect people's things and not approach women and not touch women and not engage with women and not get anywhere near women. And they're locking themselves in their basement playing video games. They don't want to offend anybody. They're doing their own thing. They're not racist. They don't say the N-word. All right, they respect everybody. They get absolutely fucked in divorce courts. All right, and they're doing all the things that men are supposed to do. And you know what? That shit wasn't good enough. And men are like, you know what? Fuck this, bro. We're taking our culture back. And I'll be real, not gonna be rude here or anything. People are noticing. So I wanted to talk about the leftist debate bro, the few remaining libtard men. I wanted to talk about them today.
Is that see these women that are getting these opportunities and then they're not getting the opportunities. And if you think this is bad, just wait till you get to the kids even younger than this.
Yeah, the next generation is going to be mega fucked. I do think so, because the pendulum always swings. Right now, I think we are seeing entry-level racism. You are not ready for the next generation. Macro racism, all right? Because you on the left refused to accept men when we tried. Okay, the next generation is going to be fucking diabolical. The next generation is going to say all blacks are violent and all Jews are controlling the world and are evil. All right, they are going to say that. You will see. The pendulum will swing the other way because you refuse to accept people at their most. Someone might say, I cannot repeat that. I'm sorry, I cannot repeat that on YouTube. I will get absolutely fucking murdered. But dude, that's fucking, that's crazy. Oh my god, dude, no! I'm banning you, bro.
You have a huge contingency of military-aged, able-bodied young men that are deeply unsatisfied with the way the government and the culture and the society and the country is going. That should be an extremely scary reality. You demonize them, you disenfranchise them, you made fun of them, you systematically put them at a disadvantage, and so when they come back, that's what you get.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You made them an enemy, and you radicalized them, and now they're gonna go fucking off the deep end. I think that's amazing, honestly. So I wanted to do this video to look into this retard. This is literally all an excuse to talk about modern culture. We have our last bastion of libtard white dude trying their absolute best to get into the panties of specific women. That's what they do. That's what they do. They make believe that they're woke and they're virtue signaling and they care, and they turn that into their fucking career path. Yes, sir. Today we're talking about Dean Withers and the other group, because Zoomer politics is stupid. By Think Before You Sleep, correct. Now, I actually helped him out with this video a little bit. I know he was working on this for like 3-4 weeks, actually, because I helped him out. I'll be real. He said, wow, this Dean Withers guy is insufferable. I said, oh, you think so? Did you know he used to be an Andrew Tate clone before grifting to the left? And he was like, no. And I was like, yes. And I sent him the receipts. I'll be real. We are about to cook on a diabolical level, a nuclear level of cookage gonna happen. I hope you have your anxiety pens ready, because this is going to be fucking awesome. These people are insufferable. They're children with no morals that try their absolute best to virtue signal closer and closer to the sun.
You can't just say shit and then get away with saying it. I'm going to debunk you, and then you're going to respond to it. Now, if you can't handle the fact that I was able to prove you wrong, and that's why you're trying to move on, well, then just be honest about it. Either concede or fucking respond.
Well, that's...
He's so insufferable! It's amazing! I'm gonna tell you a thing, and you're gonna have to agree with the thing or respond to the thing that I'm gonna tell you, and you have to sit here. No, I'm not gay. No, I'm not retarded. I am virtue signaling. Sorry, I need my anxiety vape immediately. Get me my pregnancy vape, woman!
That's one way to treat someone who disagrees with you in a debate.
True! Did you say something I don't like? Well, we're ostracizing you from society!
For those of you who don't know, this is Dean Withers, who is a part of that Zoomer politics group with that kid Parker who is in all the Jubilee episodes.
Oh my god, Parker! Is he the gay one?
And Harry Sisson, who said,
oh my god, Harry Sisson, is he the gay one?
I'm a straight 22-year-old. I can assure you that no one believes that.
They all look like Joffrey! They all look like him! They act like him, they look like him. But they are the progressive ones. They are woke, and they are not broke. That's right, they've turned this into a money printing machine. Look at how non-threat they are. As Harry Sisson sexually harasses allegedly 16 separate women. Don't pay any attention to that, okay? He's not gay.
Any man who must...
He is going to... Listen, man, I'll be real. When he sexually harassed, like, 16 women, my first reaction was, he's not gay? That was literally my first reaction. That was the first thing I said. I'm not even lying.
I can assure you that no one believes that.
True.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
Anyway, Dean is 20 years old, and him and his little friend group are popular on TikTok. But today we're going to talk about his YouTube channel because that's a lot easier to deal with in an editing program. Dean is a debate bro, which is an entire meta and type of content creator that's annoyed me a lot over the past 10 years.
Yeah!
Because most of these people seem to be creators who are a lot more concerned with farming a viral clip where they got an epic own for their audience, rather than...
Oh my god! It's the horse lolly porn guy! There's no way, dude! Oh my god! I'm telling you, this entire group... find me a leftist, like, political commentator white man that's not a complete retard. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to be rude. I don't know any.
To actually try to understand the viewpoint of the person who disagrees with them. Dean is a perfect example of this type of influencer, as it is immediately obvious when you watch him that he will do anything to make his opponent look like a complete piece of shit.
He is an unbelievably bad faith actor. He really is.
Evidence of that is in a video called, "These MAGA fanatics are out of control."
Oh, no.
What's up, Crisco? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I supported his ability to remove man from women's sports. I'm a girl dad, and so my daughters both compete on a high level, and I would never want them to have to compete against a male because we are naturally stronger.
Look at that face he makes. All right, pretty based, honestly, pretty good take.
I don't know how like the right has successfully convinced you to like place 12 trans women over the 66 million American women and girls that have lost their human rights / access to abortion, or the fact that more women have accused Donald Trump of raping them than there is trans women competing in the NCAA. I just think
that is such an unbelievably bad faith response. It's crazy. And he does like this head bob, condescending talk. I am a 19-year-old that has no life experience, and I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't care about your daughter's well-being. You actually should think that your daughter should be beaten up by stronger men. Yeah, actually, I don't know why you care about your daughters not getting beaten up when Donald Trump literally is a white supremacist, Nazi rapist, pedophile. Wow.
There's much larger concerns here.
What does that have to do with what the caller was talking about?
True.
Like, where the hell did abortion come from? The caller said his biggest reason for why he voted for Trump is because Trump is against trans women in sports, and Dean immediately shifts to whatever he wants to talk about.
Yep, every time, bro, every time. It's crazy. These people are all retarded.
Like, the caller look-
you could never have a normal debate with these people because they'll always just shift it to my own thing.
Stupid. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that Dean didn't even wait 10 seconds to do this.
Because it's the grift. It's the grift. Now, for a lot of people don't actually know, what he does. So I'm gonna actually tell you. He goes on TikTok live streams. He gets retards calling into his TikTok live streams where he mutes them while he talks to them, so that he can say whatever he wants and mute them whenever they have anything to say. And then he will essentially be like, completely owned Trump supporter, it's over. Like, this is retarded. Like, these are actual retards.
Like, this is literally the first thing that happens in the video. It's like the guy says, "Yeah, I love cooking and I think I have a great pancake recipe." And Dean responds, "Did you know that Hitler liked pancakes?" So I guess we're gonna talk about whatever Dean wants to talk about now.
So you just really care about what you deem as women's rights, correct?
Why would you phrase it that way? Why would you phrase it that way? He doesn't want his daughter to get beaten up by men, so he's voting for Trump, all right? Because he doesn't want men to beat up his daughters, all right? Why are you taking it to this place? Why are you doing this?
I just care about my daughters, that's it.
And you would really
You know
care
what I
about
mean?
like keeping like a man out of like your underage daughter's like dressing room, for instance?
Oh, well, didn't you know that Trump went into a dressing room actually one time, and therefore you don't care about your own daughters because...
I don't see a reason why he would be in there with my daughter.
Okay. Like, imagine that there's a
All right, so that's a pretty good response.
shitty man, right? Not a trans woman, a man that walked into the
This is not the topic. What are we doing? Oh my god, dude.
Changing.
Did you know that Hitler liked dogs? That's pretty bad.
of your daughter. She's 17. She's an underage girl. She's naked, undressed.
I'm not really sure why.
I don't know why he needs to describe it like that. Your daughter, 17, naked, undressed. Big man walks into the room with your daughter, 17, naked.
Topic of locker rooms here, much less the idea of a normal heterosexual male entering a woman's locker room. It kind of seems like he's being aggressive here because he very specifically doesn't want the caller to mention stuff like Loudoun County before he can frame the transgender locker room issue in the way that he wants.
Of course.
And certainly Dean
Of
would want to
course.
make sure that he took control over the conversation before the caller brings up that Riley Gaines interview, where she talks about how a biological male was not only allowed to unfairly compete against her, but was also allowed to use the women's changing room.
I turn around, there's a 6'4", 22-year-old male dropping his clothes and is fully intact with and exposing male genitalia. So let me be clear. We were not
That's
forewarned
fucked up.
we would be sharing this changing space. No one told us.
That's
Believe it
fucked
or
up.
not, it gets worse. After this happened, Riley
I
talked
love how I have my Destiny debate bros in my chat. But she actually was 5th place, so she deserves it because she tied for 5th place. Okay, so she was 5th place. Therefore, it makes sense that there should be naked men in her locker room with her? Question mark. Good argument. That's the party defending women's rights. Hell yeah, dude.
to one of the officials about the new locker room rules and about how a biological male was allowed to watch the women change.
I went up to him and I said, I understand the guidelines for the meet, which was, at the time, it was only 12 months of hormone suppression. I said, I know that, but what are the guidelines for the locker room? And word for word, this is what he says. Oh, we actually got around this by making the locker rooms unisex. So I'm like, okay, unisex.
Oh my God.
Okay,
what?
so this means that any
Wait,
man...
so any man can walk in? Wait, what?
Could have walked into our locker.
goodness.
Any man, not just a self-identifying woman.
A fan seeking opportunity?
And no one told us.
My
This
God,
whole event
dude.
also included
That's
the women who went to the
gross.
school of the male swimmer being told their lives would be ruined if they spoke out against him.
And that's true, by the way, all right? You don't understand. A lot of people are going to look back at history and not believe this. People are going to say that this was a hoax. People are going to look back and think of this like it never really existed. But in reality, there was a time period from 2020 to 2024 when if a person with a penis exposed said penis in front of women children in a woman's locker room and the children were uncomfortable by the penis haver, they would get punished. This happened. This was real, okay? Like, dude, people are gonna deny it, bro. This should be treated like Holocaust denial if people deny this shit. All right? It should be looked at as gross. Like, what are we doing, man? This is fucking crazy. Nothing happened between 2020 and 2024. Uh-huh.
And they had to go to re-education courses so they could think more inclusively.
True.
This was quite an infuriating interview to watch. But anyway, let's see where Dean is going with
Bro, the Holocaust denial is crazy. Not the Holocaust denial.
locker room situation. Why would he bring that up? It seems like a great way to lose a debate.
Like, imagine that there's a shitty man that walked into the changing room of your daughter. She's 17. She's an underage girl. She's naked undressed. What
Why
do you
does he
think
say
should
it
happen
like this?
to that man?
He's like trying so hard to rage bait. Oh, Trump was that man. Trump was the man because he walked into a beauty pageant one time. He walked into a beauty pageant and Trump was the man. Got him. So therefore you want women to beat up men in women's sports. Ha! Got him. Destroyed.
If he walking in for what exactly? Did he walk in on accident?
To perv on them while they were naked, and he did so
He
intentionally.
gets the same treatment as anyone else.
What should happen to him?
If he tried something, he should be locked up.
He should be locked up. If an older man did this, boasted about it,
He actually said if he tried something.
said he got away with it, never got jailed, then ran for president, would you ever vote or support that man?
Absolutely not.
Don't be a
He
hypocrite,
should
bro.
know. It doesn't matter who it is, bro. It's
Even
like you're looking
if it was
to
Trump,
prove your point.
even if it was
It
Trump,
does-
Okay, that's where he's going with this.
Yep, absolutely. It's just to get you on like the nuanced little hypotheticals. Hey, and they try so hard. This is the strategy. It's like, haha, I caught you in a hypocrisy. The hypocrisy was there and it destroyed you. You are so done. It's over. Now you must want women to be beaten up by men in women's sports because I caught you on a hypocrisy.
Trying to escape the very valid concern from parents of allowing boys into girls' bathrooms and locker rooms.
I love these
And it's
people,
not just
man.
at school, but also places like
Lord.
Disneyland.
Oh,
So
disgusting.
he's escaping this by shifting the conversation to a story about Trump, which is a tactic straight out of a book called Rules for Radicals, a book that Dean has almost certainly read. It's
Dean can't read. He's on TikTok. What are you talking about?
the handbook for people like him. And to put it simply, it's a book that teaches bad faith influencing tactics and bad behavior.
Correct.
For the sole
Literally true. It's a debate bro tactic where instead of actually tackling the core situation, instead of literally even discussing the core topic, which is women getting beaten up by biological men, all right, you turn it into this little nitpicky, random, somehow nuanced topic where you can catch someone on a play on word hypocrisy in order to invalidate them as a person, so you don't actually need to tackle the topic at hand.
purpose of winning.
Deflect, deny, attack.
Towards the end, there's a chapter on tactics where the author describes different rules to follow to be effective in convincing people of radical political change. Rule number 2. Never go outside the experiences of your people. This one's not that bad because it's actually a rule that applies generally. You should always try to speak to the experiences that people you're talking to can relate to. This is just a basic communication skill, but it's all set up for the next tactic, which is Rule 3, that says that you should, wherever possible, go outside of the experience of the enemy.
Yep.
This rule is great because any one person can't know everything.
True. So it's like when you make a nebulous claim, do you support old men going into women's locker rooms? And it's like, of course not. And it's like, well, this reminds me of that thing that Trump sort of did by a pageant that he owned. Destroyed. You were caught on the hypocrisy. It's over. Now, you must admit you want men to beat up women. What a fantastic debate tactic.
So as a dishonest person, you can just bring up some random Snapple fact to your opponent, and if they don't know it, the audience will perceive them as stupid. You might even convince your opponent—
You got Dean withered! Withered, just like my penis when I see a woman. My penis is only fully erect when I see another man.
That they're stupid for not knowing the random thing that you brought up. It's quite an effective tactic in a live debate, especially against people who are unaware of it. So that's the reason that Dean has brought this story up about Trump in a locker room instead of sticking to the topic about trans women in sports.
And people are always like this. It's so fucking hilarious to see. It's like, okay, so I don't want men to be beating up my daughters. But do you support a old purple person walking into a locker room that happened sometimes and stuff?
Now, in the next part, Dean is—
Would you support a man that was friends with another man that was a pedophile? No. Ha! Trump was friends with Epstein. Destroyed. Now you must vote for the party that wants to beat up women. Got him. Got him. Like, dude, what are we even doing? Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy.
is going to play a clip of Trump talking about locker rooms, but the way he does it is really confusing and abrupt. For context, he plays a 2005 clip of Donald Trump talking to Howard Stern about beauty pageants, and to make it less confusing, I'm going to use a different cut of this moment, but I will play the exact words that Dean plays, and then cut back to him talking and abusing the caller.
Oh, I tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, you know, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, you know, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So the non-hypocritical
Inspector Gadget over here.
Rational response would be at this point to say that you're no longer a Trump supporter, because immediately before I rolled that tape, you said that you would never support anybody that did this. You'd never vote for
You said a thing, and I've contradicted you, and now you must vote for the party that is supporting men beating up women. Got him. Official vagina inspector Trump over here. Yes, he said that in 2005, and therefore you must die.
Him to be the president, even if it was Trump. I'm putting my money on you just being a hypocrite. And are you no longer?
All right, so probably the most frustrating part of listening to Dean is that you have to fact literally everything he says, because he's always leaving out important context or just straight up lying. Though before we get into that, I will note that Dean caters to a younger demographic, so they likely don't understand the environment of the Howard Stern show, because he is before their time.
True.
The show is supposed to be offensive, so Trump may be playing it up for the listeners. In fact, there is still an episode of The Stern Show with Trump.
Also, he never claims that it was to children either, which is another important thing, because he's calling him a pedophile. Just to be clear, they are calling him a pedophile here. That is what they are alleging. So I don't know. I think it's important. As someone with an anxiety pen, I think he should definitely try his best to be as on top of things as he can.
Up on YouTube, and you can see Howard pushing Trump to be edgy. Stern.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think it's a nice thing to do personally. I definitely don't. In fact, I would go as far as to say I don't like a lot of Trump's personal life choices over the course of his life. Abso-fucking-lutely. I think it's weird as fuck. I'm not going to try to sit here and say that it is a good thing, but absolutely, if you want to defend your children in locker rooms, you vote for Trump. Obviously, there is no other option unless you're literally voting for the party that wants men in locker rooms with your daughters. So realistically, that's just life. I can't believe that adult straight women that are professionally showing their bodies are having a powerful man in the room with them when they get ready to prepare themselves for showing their bodies. This is truly diabolical.
Stern does that every show. The whole point is to have dirty humor, so stories or storytelling may be embellished. That being said, there is so much context missing here. Dean says that Trump was creeping on minors, but there's no indication of that from
Completely true. Yeah, that's a popular, famous headcanon. The logic that they use, because I've heard this debate so many times, the logic that they use is Trump said he walked backstage on pageants before, and Trump also had child pageants, so therefore he might have been a pedophile looking at children, women. Got him destroyed. It's over.
This clip. Trump owned a pageant for adults and a pageant for teens, And I'm guessing that Trump is talking about the pageant for adults because no one outside of maybe Andrew Tate would be stupid enough to voluntarily admit to an inappropriate relationship with a minor.
Dean Withers truly is the master debater.
While being interviewed. Dean is also assuming that Trump didn't have consent from the adult women to enter the locker room. I think everyone here can picture in their head a situation where a bunch of young adult women would be perfectly fine with a billionaire being in their presence, dressed or not. But let's take a closer look. Trump owned Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA. This allegation from Dean happened at a Miss Teen USA event in 1997. So basically 30 years ago, and the articles I found on it were 20 years after the event, so I'm sure everyone's memory is crystal clear.
Probably.
To sum it all up, these are just stories from people who were there, and nobody has any concrete evidence that Trump did anything illegal. This article here says that the girls' chaperones for the pageant told them to get dressed before Trump entered, and states that the chaperones would have never allowed anything inappropriate to have happened. Even in this BuzzFeed article that's far more against Trump, none of the witness testimonies said they were actually undressed around him.
So he's making up allegations from no actual people that no one even made these allegations. It's a podcast joke out of context where you don't know the context. No women came forward saying anything like this happened, but you are standing on this glass house making believe that this means you should be voting for the party that wants your daughters to be beaten up in women's locker rooms. All right, like what are we even doing, guys? Like, this is levels upon levels of bad faith.
They merely said they were rushed to get dressed when they were told he was visiting. So this is not Trump creeping on 17-year-olds like Dean said. I mean, you could argue that maybe there's a more appropriate place for Trump to meet the contestants, but considering that this is a beauty pageant, I mean,
to be honest, I don't think it's I don't think it's like a super nice thing to do. I'm not going to like defend the action of going into women's locker rooms because, hey, you own the place. I don't think it's a very nice thing to do, but this is something that happened 30 years ago, and realistically, absolutely, if you want to vote for the party that's going to protect women in locker rooms, you vote for Trump. Obviously, the other party wants to put men in women's locker rooms and women's bathrooms. I'd like absolutely. This is not debunking the claim at all. You are just trying to make believe you can catch him on some sort of hypocrisy to destroy his worldview. Like, it is insane. He just doesn't want to actually debate the core issue that is penises in women's locker rooms.
Imagine that a significant amount of the time that the girls aren't on stage is spent in the dressing room perfecting their outfit or their makeup. I don't know that much about pageants, but I can imagine that this area, a lot of the time, might be the most convenient place for a busy person to quickly meet everybody, and provided that they were all dressed, other adults were there, and proper boundaries were maintained, I don't see this as a problem. As for the adult pageants, we have a testimony from former Miss Arizona, Tasha Dixon. Let's hear what she has to say.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked, changing into our bikinis.
Half naked, she says. Interesting.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says...
Oh, so she was an adult. All right, so an adult was half naked and Trump came in, and they are calling him a pedophile rapist for this. All right.
Watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
To have the owner come waltzing in.
And she says this 30 years later on CNN when Trump is running for president. Remember, she didn't care about this before Trump was running for president. But now that Trump is running for president, now she cares about it. 20 years after it happens, half naked. Dog, can I tell you something controversial? This is definitely going to ruin your lives. Women in bikinis are half naked, okay? This is a woman after her modeling career has ended, let me remind you, 20 years later coming back for some clout when Trump was running for president, okay? Because he saw her when she was half naked. The wall undefeated once again.
When we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him, get his attention. Who do you complain to? He owns the pageant.
Notice how they said 18. So at the very least, that's another strike against Dean for the pedo allegations. I mean, based on Dean's extreme lack of evidence here, that allegation kind of sounds like defamation.
They all got sued by Trump, and Trump... Whoa, no, what the fuck is that guy doing here? Who invited this blue retard? Won all those lawsuits.
And kind of sounds like defamation.
They all got sued by Trump, and Trump won all those lawsuits. CBS slandered Trump. They called him a rapist, and he sued them for defamation, and he won.
As for what Tasha said, it sounds inappropriate for Trump to enter a locker room while women are changing. However, Trump has denied these allegations, so now it's he said, she said, and considering that this happened 15 years prior to that interview, and there seems to be no proof outside of taking someone's word for it, and no other witnesses made their names public to corroborate Tasha's story, I'm going to say that Trump is innocent until proven guilty.
Damn! You mean like any person should do every single time, it turns out. Ooh, so Dean Wheeler's full of shit, confirmed, but he uses this anyway as a dishonest debate tactic to call someone a hypocrite in order to win a debate about why he doesn't want his daughters to get abused in locker rooms. Oopsie poopsie.
False allegations happen a lot with rich people and public figures, and the reason we have legal standards is to prevent abusers from witch hunting everyone they don't like.
Completely true.
Tasha claims.
Think about how easy it would have been for the Democrats to put Trump in jail if he was a pedophile. Like, I think of this every single time. If Trump was a pedophile, you don't think the Democrats would have gotten this man in jail? They tried to hit him for fucking everything under the sun, bro. Like, dude, they found, like, his ex-girlfriends from 30 years earlier to sue him for this shit. Like, they tried fucking everything. Everything! Okay? It didn't work! They tried to put him in jail for 700 years! Okay? Stop! They failed, bro! They tried to kill him!
Her allegations weren't politically
Dude, every time I see someone using a clip of me, it's like an actual flashbang, bro.
Motivated, but I find that very hard to believe because she appears to have made them a month before the 2016 election.
Every time. Every fucking time. It's like the woman that was abused 20 years ago remembered now, while Trump is running for president, that now is the time to go on the television to attack him. Yep, of course. Very opportune sexual assault allegation there.
So I don't think she's being honest about that. Now, to go on a slight tangent because it's relevant, I know that Trump is taking shit right now from MAGA because he went on Truth Social and said the Epstein files were fake, which no one believes. I know everyone's mad about that, and I'm not happy about it either, and like everyone else, I hope they do get released. Though more importantly, this video is not really about Trump, it's about Dean, and Dean just so happens to be talking about Trump here because he talks about Trump in like every video. I mean, this guy uses MAGA in his titles more than people used to use the word woke before Fox News anchors made that term cringe.
I think woke is dead.
So understand that anything I say here is not an endorsement of Republicans not keeping their promise to release the list. It's to talk about Dean's constant use of bad faith tactics. And since Trump is basically the only thing that Dean seems to talk about, we're going to talk about Trump. Anyway, as the debate goes on, instead of actually engaging with the ideas of his opposition about trans women in sports, Dean continues to use this video to do anything he can to attack Trump in any way.
Is there anything that Trump could do, any red line, that would make you regret your vote? I want an answer to my question.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes or no? Is there anything that Donald Trump could do that would make you regret your vote? What if he committed a genocide on the other side of the world?
Listen, I voted for the party that isn't gonna get my daughter raped in a locker room. Oh yeah? Well, Israel-Palestine literally got him. So over. Oh my God. Wow. Israel-Palestine cooked. Dog, first of all, there's no genocide, okay? We could stop playing this fucking game. There's no genocide, okay? Stop it. They dropped 85,000 tons of bombs, okay? 85,000 tons of bombs! And they killed 60,000 people, which is a tragedy, don't get me wrong, okay? But that's not a genocide, okay? And no normal person actually thinks it is a genocide, okay? I'll be real. Tragedy that a lot of innocent people are dying? Yes. Come on, dude. What are we fucking talking about? That's one. Okay. And two, the second point, you do realize that this shit was happening under Biden, right? You do realize this was literally happening under Biden, okay? Like, you realize the level of retardation we're dealing with? So this is Israel retaliating against a terrorist organization that attacked them, that still has hostages, that could still literally end the war today if they wanted. All right, that's one. All right, and two, it happened under Biden. Okay, your argument is retarded and also not even remotely related to women getting abused in locker rooms. Like, do you understand the hurdles of bad faith you need to jump through for something like this?
He bombed and killed 1 million people. Would you still support him?
They should retaliate.
Okay, well, that also didn't happen anywhere. But also, let me remind you, the British killed 1 million people in Germany. All right, innocent people in Germany during the war. Let's not forget, that happened. The world pretty much considers that a good thing. Also, Obama dropped 26,000 bombs, all right, throughout the Middle East over his term. No one cared about that.
But would you regret your vote if tomorrow he dropped a bomb and killed 1 million people?
I guess it depends why he did that. If they attacked America, not super against it. I mean, they started a war. They got fucked. It's their problem. Like, there's context to everything.
In Asia.
Yeah, but Trump hasn't done that. And
also, this didn't happen. Like, what are we even talking about?
Also, this is...
If Russia decided to shoot nukes at America and America retaliated and it ended up killing 1 million people in Russia, I don't think that that's a war crime. I think that's valid as fuck. Like, obviously, there's a reason why context matters.
Completely irrelevant to the initial question. But I mean...
I don't want my daughters to get abused in a locker room. Oh yeah, well, what if Trump killed 1 million Asians? And this is why the left is losing, okay? No dude is interested in seeing this dude's debates, all right? This dude's debates are being watched by white knights and women. No man is watching this. Like, dude, you want to see evidence of what I'm saying? Do you want to see evidence of what I'm saying? Let me show you what Dean Withers' Twitter profile is. He's an e-boy. He is an e-boy, okay? Come on, dude. Like, bro, no straight white dude is watching this guy.
And if we're going to propose that as a hypothetical, then I don't think that's a path you want to go down as an Obama supporter.
Obama says that he wants to run for president in 2028. Will you be voting for him?
Okay, well, Obama hasn't said that. He literally can't. It'd be unconstitution, but obviously I would, yeah.
I'm guessing...
Obama dropped 26,000 bombs, all right? You want to know another interesting statistic that's going to blow your mind? Israel's combatant to civilian ratio in Gaza is better than Obama's civilian to combatant ratio when he dropped 26,000 bombs in the Middle East. Okay? Do you realize how insane that is? Like, what are we doing? But what if Obama was a vampire? Oh yeah, would you still vote for him? What if he was a vampire, guys?
Dean didn't know this because he got into politics like 5 minutes ago, but Obama was infamous for promising to end the Iraq war that Bush started, followed by taking his sweet-ass time to do that. I hate President Bush too, by the way. So Obama continued that war and ordered tons of drone strikes that had a really bad habit of killing civilians.
26,000 drone strikes, by the way.
And then he goes and jokes about it in a...
And dude, just look at this one, all right? This one drone strike on Yemen killed 55 people, including 21 children, all right? These stats are literally worse than Israel's. Literally.
Beach.
The Jonas brothers are here. Sasha and Malia are huge fans, but boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you. Predator drones.
Oh my God.
You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
I love how these people are like,
shit.
You must disavow your candidate or you're an evil hypocrite, followed by not really addressing stuff their favorite person does or even just full on sweeping under the rug. They're politicians, guys. They all do bad stuff. I think the only criticism that I heard Dean give Obama is that he wasn't far enough on the left. Meanwhile, if Trump
Of course, because the radical leftists are all retarded.
Doesn't instantly donate it to charity, well then he's basically the devil. The debate continues with the caller talking about how he only wants a politician who addresses his personal concerns.
I don't care about y'all, you, or anybody else. I care about my circle, and my household. If he does something to somebody else,
I have a question.
Need to go handle him.
I have a question.
That's pretty valid. You want to vote for someone that will impact your personal life, right? I think that's pretty important, right? You vote for someone that will impact your personal life. He doesn't want his daughters raped in locker rooms. That's why he's voting for Trump.
Yeah. I have a question. If Donald Trump re-legalized slavery in America.
What are we doing? That would affect them personally. Why are we doing this?
Didn't it personally impact you or your family or anybody that you personally know? Enslaved 5 million African Americans in this
situation.
Why are we doing this? Why are we like this? Oh my God, he's so retarded. What if Donald Trump literally blew up Namek? Okay, what if he literally did that? Okay, so in a hypothetical universe where the Dragon Balls exist, okay? What if he killed Namek in that universe specifically? Like, what if Trump decided to invade Wakanda to steal their vibranium, all right? Have you considered this?
And somebody need to pull together so we can turn it around.
Would you have regretted your vote?
My vote is about my kids. That's
so
it.
He could literally re-implement slavery, and you still would have stood behind your vote for him.
If it impacts my children,
it didn't impact your children.
That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't impact any in my family, then no.
I mean, that was a terrible way for the...
That's fucking crazy. All right. Listen, man, that's crazy. That is an insane response. But still not the point. Like, why don't you contend with the actual discussion?
Caller to frame that, but in general, people only vote for things that directly benefit them or their group, and they don't really care about anyone else. Even when they claim they are voting out of compassion for others.
What if Trump raped your mom? All right? What if he did that? What if Trump literally murdered your baby? Okay? Literally, Trump murdered your baby. Would you vote for him? No. Okay, got him. It's over. Trump bad. Destroyed. hit you with the hypocrisy there.
Those tend to be the most selfish types of people. This also applies to Dean, as I can assure you that he does not care about Democrats who are trying to effectively reinstate slavery through illegal aliens, because it personally benefits his career to promote the idea of breaking U.S. law to cross the border. I think I've heard enough leftists basically make without the slaves who
without the slaves
will pick the cotton argument.
No, you said it wrong, brother. You said it wrong. It's without the immigrants who will pick the cotton. Who will we employ for criminally unfair wages to take jobs from white people if we don't have immigrants? This is so sad. Hold on. Hang on. Wait a minute, hang on. Who will clean the toilets? Who will wipe our asses?
Argument in my lifetime to see that if it was 1860, you could easily convince at least most of Dean's target audience to be pro-slavery. But I guess the more valuable point here is that—
Dude, Dean's target audience are propaganda pigs, okay? They don't fucking care. You think they care about the stance? They're just coded to think Trump bad, so therefore they're literally just gonna go on the Trump bad side of the force. They don't fucking think. They're not people that think. They're virtue signaling retards. They don't care.
Dean is so bad at arguing and so avoidant of the trans issues talk that he has to create weird hypotheticals to smear his opponent to win an argument instead of talking about things that actually happened.
Would you regret your vote for Trump if Donald Trump systemically slaughtered every black person?
Because I already—
Oh my fucking God. What are we doing?
Told you it's not about Trump. I just told you that. It could be anybody. I don't vote for him for anything else. That's it. According to what you played, the audio you played.
And I love when he does like these fake shocked expressions. Like,
it sounds like
what if dragons were real and Trump grabbed a dragon by the pussy? Would this change your vote?
He's a horrible dude. But if you get Trump out of office right now, the next person to get in, no matter who it is.
And he kicked him out of the call.
So that guy was an actual psychopath. To the fullest extent of what that word means. That was completely, just absolutely deranged.
Look at his face, bro. Oh my God. He just got fucking owned. He just got beaten in a debate. Bro, you managed to lose a debate to a guy that would vote for Trump if he would systematically slaughter black people. Okay? You got owned by that guy. All right? The soy reaction from this dude is diabolical. You just got beaten in the marketplace of ideas by a guy that would literally vote for Hitler. You didn't even get to the locker room discussion.
We all agree that people like that shouldn't be able to vote.
I like how—
Oh, that person shouldn't be allowed to vote. Let's take democracy away from those people, but not the retard cokehead fentanyl zombies. They should be allowed to vote.
Dean shut off the caller's mic right before he was about to say that politicians in general have done a lot of evil things, and if you take one out, his replacement is likely to be a piece of shit too, which is something that most people would agree with. That was very honest and fair of Dean to cut off the more reasonable part of his take and then call him a psycho. But Dean, I think you'll find that most voters—
That's the strategy. You go on a TikTok live stream, you get people into the call, you debate them for 2 minutes, then you kick them out when they're about to say something. Hell yeah, dude.
They're extremely similar sentiments to your caller and will ignore insane amounts of bad behavior if it's from their favorite candidate. I'm sure he knows that. He argues with people professionally, which is—
dude, of course he knows that. Of course he knows that. That's why he uses the bad faith genocide card. It's like, dude, Biden was the president when this war with Israel and Gaza started, okay? Biden was the president when that started. He was the president for 2 years of that shit, okay? 2 years of it. But now that Trump is president, Trump is facilitating a genocide. Like, why are we playing these games?
Why he brought up—
You should call into Dean's show. That means I need to be live on TikTok waiting for hours until I get into a call with him where he will mute me and kick me out. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Completely retarded hypotheticals, so his opponent would look bad after falling for the trap. He's really just clip farming here. He spends the whole interview using false evidence as fact, does everything he can to take the caller out of context, makes up extreme and irrelevant hypotheticals, and says the caller is a psycho at the end.
Oh.
Well, as stated in Rules for Radicals—
But wait a second, why aren't white people, like white males aren't really looking up to him though? That's so weird.
Ridicule is a man's most potent weapon. Dean has to do that because he can't win on merit. And think of how embarrassing this is. As a professional, without using bad faith tactics, he can't even defeat an unprepared, low-information caller who admittedly is a single-issue voter. That is pathetic. But again, Dean, are you sure that violence is a route that you want to go down? Remind me which party is responsible for effectively all the political violence.
The left, every time.
Like, how many people on the left?
Right, the leftists are all kill men, burn Teslas, attack cops, attack ICE, light cars on fire. That's the left. The left is the violent party in America. They are literally the actual terrorist supporters. They're fucking chanting for Hamas. Like, bro, they're chanting for the people that are murdering and starving their own people. All right, like, you have to realize what level of audience captured virtue signal grift insanity is going on. Like, it's crazy.
The left has said to kill white people or Jews, or have said things that are disgustingly racist for the purpose of justifying those things.
Bro, yeah, giving money to Carmelo Anthony, bro.
Jewish is not an ethnicity. This constructed ethnicity. This demonic ethnicity.
Also note that this guy, Mike from...
That's Mike from PA. One of the largest leftist streamers on Twitch, baby. Yeah, he's so tolerant and so good at... He's so tolerant.
PA DMCA'd the Reddit archive of this to cover up what was said.
He copyrighted Reddit. Absolute cinema.
And what about Destiny saying that Trump and his supporters should be killed? Well, I mean, a lot of the left is saying that these days. Taylor Lorenz made a whole clip.
I'm so happy he brought this up. This is fucking crazy.
Of it. In fact, speaking of Taylor, she and Hasan Piker did a talk where he openly encouraged...
Yeah, he said someone's got to do it.
Terrorism.
874 beam drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like, that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like, he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical now. This is an unprecedented time. Right. And you actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. That which is, I think that shows that there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped potential.
I have talked about this. I would have gone a bit deeper, but yeah, I talked about this already in previous videos. It's fucking insane that he's saying someone's got to do it, that someone needs to go kill Trump. It's fucking insanity.
Revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact.
Man, get your girl to look at you the way Taylor looks at Hasan. Imagine that power.
It's literally terrorists. It's terrorist supporters getting together and chilling out together. Actual terrorist supporters. Actual terrorist supporters are getting together to chill together, and it's fucking insane. It's fucking crazy.
Also, why the hell has this guy not been arrested? Are they just going to let him incite violence over and over again to a huge audience with no consequences?
He's literally telling his audience of millions of people to go kill Trump. Like, I don't know why this is even remotely acceptable. I'm so happy more people are on the fuck Hasan train. Look, as someone that's been on the fuck Hasan, he needs to go to jail train from chapter 1, from the first station, I'm really glad that other people are picking up on this.
I will say this, though, because in the past, I used to be more kind towards people like Dean or people in the Hasan group chat.
Yes, and I infected everyone's minds. They support terrorists, they should go to jail. Fuck these people, literally, I don't care. Stop, they are anti-American in every possible way. They hate America.
And certainly, I still will give them credit for making good arguments, and I will try to counter-argue in good faith. I do that for the audience, and not out of respect for a person like Dean. However, I also now realize that a lot of people out there are just evil or demonic and only use their words, emotions, or kind sentiments to deceive people.
Demons use words to trick humans.
It's so funny. He showed me this clip from Freerin. He said, can I include this?
You can't trust a thing they say. It's in their blood. They're descended from liars.
A very on-the-nose.
So he showed me that clip from Freerin, and he said to me, listen, I want to include this clip because it's very, like, poignant and very on topic, right? That fuck demons, right? He showed me that clip, and then he said, but I'm afraid people are going to think that I'm saying that, like, all black people are demons or something. Like, I'm afraid people are going to say that they are just genetically demonic, and and that's not what I mean, but I'm afraid people are going to take it that way, and I'm just like, fuck it, let it rip. And if they're mad, you get to farm the reactions. Yep, that's what I said. Yep.
Those metaphor from anime. Not to say that I include everyone I criticize in this category. For example, I think Ludwig deserves harsh criticism, but I also think he can...
Yeah, but Ludwig's a retard. I don't think he's like a terrorist supporter. I just think he's retarded. But most importantly, when it comes to Ludwig, there's one thing that I have to say. One thing that's important to mention whenever I can. All right?
Let's up those numbers!
Let's up those numbers! Definitely subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. Let's up those numbers!
Redeem himself. I've never thought that Ludwig is like Hasan, despite the fact that they are friends.
No, Ludwig is, he's just a retard. He's just a retard.
Ludwig is more of a coward who makes stupid decisions than he is malevolent. But as for the others, I no longer believe they deserve the humanization and respect that I used to give them.
People are waking up. People are coming to the Nux side of the force. He's a terrorist supporter that is telling his audience to kill the president. He needs to go to jail. Fuck him completely, utterly, literally, and abominably. Man needs to go to jail.
As they will only see that as a weakness that they can use against you. These people are evil, and the only thing they deserve is to be severely punished for what they've done. And when I include Dean in this category, it's not just how
It's funny, I wouldn't include Dean in this category, by the way. I don't think Dean needs to go to jail. I don't like him. I think he's bad faith. I think he's a pussy, and I think everyone knows he's a pussy. I think he has no power because he's just like, dude, he's a pussy. Hasan is an actual terrorist supporter. He actually wants people to go kill Jews and the president of the United States and any politician that he disagrees with. He literally wants to use draconian methods to actually kill them. He is a communist. He is subverting the United States. He is lying and radicalizing an audience of terrorist supporters, and he needs to go to jail. He needs to go to jail or be deported immediately. I think Dean is just a retard, bad faith bitch that no one actually respects. Which is why the left has no men. The left is out of men. They ran out of straight white men. The straight white men fucking don't give a shit about what the left has to say anymore. Because this is the modicum of personality on the left. A complete retard.
What I mean is that, like, just a couple of years ago, he was trying to pull an Andrew Tate hustler.
Yes! I showed him this. He was so excited when I showed this to him. He's such a grifting pussy. It's crazy.
University scam.
While you guys are at home sitting on your asses, I just took a private jet out to LA with $1 million in this rental passenger seats in a Coach duffel bag. Couple grand in the lap. I'm about to go drop it at Louis Vuitton. When I opened up the pre-order for my e-Bible, which goes over effectively every single way I've been able to live my dream life at 17 years old by making money online.
Yeah.
He was a fucking Andrew Tate grifter. That didn't work out, and then he became mega woke. Yup.
People are really going to believe a 17-year-old is a multi-millionaire real estate mogul or whatever who has advice that's worth paying for. Look, he's even copying Andrew Tate's posing, and he tried to scam people too. The crypto part is explained in this next clip that is the courtesy of this YouTube video by Remnant777 that
I linked him that YouTube video.
Very much does not have enough views on it.
The university will teach highly specific skills such as influencer management and advanced cryptocurrency trading.
Right. By the way, for some reason, all this stuff is still online even though it's 3 years old. You can go to this telegram here and fact check it yourself.
Yep.
However, when all this Andrew Tate scam artist stuff didn't work for him,
it's still on the internet.
Dean moved into politics because there's a ton of money in politics if you want to lie to people professionally. Just ask Nancy Pelosi. And a lot of Dean's videos seem to go like the one where he's arguing about locker rooms. He starts the conversation off semi-politely, goes completely off topic, and then tries to accuse the opponent of being the devil, which brings us to one of Dean's latest dramas. Now, the full context of...
It's every time, though. It's every time. Someone will say, I don't want my daughter to get raped. And he'll be like, you would vote for Trump even if he would kill black people? Oh, my God.
This, I believe, is lost because Dean memory holed it after the backlash. But he and the caller appear to be talking about Trump's ownership of the Miss Teen USA pageants and his appearance in the locker room that I spoke about earlier. Now, just as a reminder, as far as I'm aware, no degenerate behavior occurred at the teen pageants. And since Dean has not provided any counter-evidence in these clips,
there is no evidence.
They're basically slander.
I agree, by the way. I don't think, if I was Trump, I would want to clear my name, all right? And I would sue every person that called him a pedophile. Every single person that called Trump a pedophile should get sued. And just see how far it goes. Yeah, it could be thousands of people. Massive fucking lawsuit. Every single one. Just bully the shit out of it. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
You're going to tell me that the parents of the teenagers aren't there either? I mean, I wouldn't send my kid to a pageant by themselves.
Do you think that a parent can consent to a teenager being perved on by an old man?
This is literally his only talking point, that Trump allegedly went to pageants that he owned, and he's claiming that they were children with no evidence? Like, this is crazy.
The whole point of a beauty pageant is people looking at teenagers clammed up, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. I think they're weird in the first place. You're glorifying young women and children in the first place.
I mean, true, he's right. I think that beauty pageants for kids is weird as fuck.
I think beauty pageants for minors should be outlawed, or at the very least, certain parts of them should be.
You're a father of a young daughter. Do you think you have the right...
I'm not.
Is that a young son?
Yes.
Do you think that you have the right, as the father of that son, to consent to having older people take pictures of your son while your son is naked?
If I was dumb enough to send my kid in, it's no different than a baby commercial for diapers.
Can you answer my question? Do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
Again, he's trying so hard to get him to admit to something creepy. Like he's trying so hard to get him to admit to something even similar to creepy. He just said he wouldn't do it. All right. Now the person he's talking to is just some random dude that called in. All right. But he's trying so hard to get him to say, I am the parent. I get to decide what my kid does. And he wants to twist that into saying, oh, you're literally pimping out your child for sex. And it's like, what? This is a totally other thing.
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent, and I wouldn't.
And then he does like this fake shocked expression to basically flame this guy as a pedophile.
My kid in that situation. That's why I think pageants are weird.
And the fake hand cupped to his mouth. Oh my God! He said that my children don't have a choice. That means you can literally pimp your children out for sex. Literally never said. He does his best shocked Pikachu expression, and then he basically flames the guy as a pedophile.
The first place.
I'm not sure where Dean is going with this. For one, children don't have the right to legally consent to anything.
I mean, I know where he's going with it. He's trying to say that I have the right to decide what my kid does, and he's trying to twist that into, therefore, you think that people can agree for their children to become whores. Wow, crazy.
Which is why good parenting is important. Second, Dean is acting like a 65-year-old who is not the parent, has never changed a child's diaper before.
Yeah, that was the argument that I made every single time. Every single time. Can you ask someone to change your kid's diaper? Or is that pedophilia? It's fucking normal, and every single person does it. Okay? Like, why are we doing this? And even if you are the parent, your child didn't consent for you to see them naked when you change their diaper. Oh my God, this is fucking crazy. Like, dude, why are we acting like this? You are a child with no life experience that's out here calling people pedophiles and shit. Okay? You suck. You suck. You have no life. And this is why no one looks up to you. Everyone thinks you're a loser, except for some thirsty e-girls.
Or he's acting like parents don't give consent for a doctor to see a child without clothes on to perform an exam.
True.
Or that naked baby pictures aren't a thing that people commonly consent to.
Yeah, first of all, I think that's weird. I think baby pictures are kind of weird. Naked baby pictures, they're weird as fuck. But people do it! That doesn't make them all rapists, okay? Like, dude.
It really depends on the context of the situation. And the context in this case is that Trump met a bunch of fully dressed teenagers in front of their parents, which is something that I can imagine that basically everyone's okay with.
Yeah.
I really don't like how people like Dean are trying to make everything pedophilia. Oh my God, this guy.
Yeah, no, that's Dean Withers. That's the modern left. Everyone I don't like's a pedophile. Now, the irony is they support the terrorists that are pedophiles. That's the funniest part. Everyone's a pedophile. That's the Hasan move, right? Hasan calls everyone a pedophile. And then he goes out and supports actual pedophiles.
Guy's attracted to a fully grown adult. What a creep. Or how dare Chris Evans be in a relationship with a woman in her 20s?
Oh.
So after this moment that he farmed out of the collar, Dean decides to do a thumbnail pose of his extreme shock for like 30 seconds, and then he does this.
So here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, this is horrible.
I think that you don't deserve to have any custodial rights of your child.
I, a 19-year-old bitch boy with no life experience, have decided, based on my complete wisdom and authority, that you do not deserve to have rights for your child. We are therefore doxing you, swatting you, calling Child Protective Services, and honestly killing you. I will get my audience to do their absolute best to find you and kill you because you are a rapist pedophile, because I decided so. Yep, that's what I have to say.
So, for those watching,
by the way, I don't think anyone should ever forget he did this. I think this should be a black mark over his career for the rest of his life. I don't think he should ever outlive this, ever. Literally ever. In my opinion. You are weaponizing your audience to dox and try to get someone's children taken from them for no reason. I don't think this should ever be forgotten. You are the most despicable, abhorrent piece of shit out there. All right? In my opinion. This is absolutely unforgivable.
Handle is Goatman91096.
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
Because I want to find who you are so I could call CPS and have them take your child away from you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Yes, I would. So
they would never even do it. That's the best part.
Okay. What's
because
your name?
I would take the part, and I have a witness sitting here who's heard me say I would never put my child in that situation.
Okay. So what's your name?
This is why I have no problems with comparing people like Dean to a demon from a popular fantasy series. This is literally evil. He's going to call the CPS.
No, it literally is evil. Like, you're trying to ruin the kid's life now. You're trying to ruin that father and that child's life because you, a 19-year-old kid who has no experience in anything, feels like you have the moral authority to ruin people's lives for no reason. Yes, Absolutely. Your moral compass is fucked up. You have no moral compass, I would even go as far as to say. You're having some sort of political disagreement about trans people in women's locker rooms or whatever, and you want to take this person's kids away. I really honestly think these people suck. They really do. And they are the voice of reason for a generation of retards. Really. Like, he is the most popular debater on the left right now. I don't think you're aware of this. He is the biggest leftist debater probably in the world. All right? The left can't do better than him. Does that make you feel stupid? The left cannot do better than this guy.
On someone to win a debate. And you know he got the...
No way. Yes way. I am telling you. Unironically. Like, he is the biggest debater on the left. He really is. And he's a complete retard.
This idea from the whole Ethan Klein drama where a bunch of Hasan viewers and groupies like Denims called the CPS on Ethan and laughed as they tried to have his kids taken away for basically the same reason, which, again, was to win an internet argument.
All these people, incidentally, who are promoting this type of insanity are, in fact, childless and will likely remain that way.
Yeah, it's not a shock that it's always childless losers who are doing this to people with kids. Only a complete piece of shit would try to alienate a child from their parents over internet drama. So naturally, Dean starts to educate people on how to dox someone, which is a crime, by the way. Doxing is a crime where he lives.
So you said that you think that parents have every right to exploit and traffic their children.
No, he never said anything like that, dude. Oh my God, why are we like this?
That's not what I said.
So I'm not going to debate it with you. That is what you said.
That is what you said, even though it's not, and I've decided that that's what you said, even though it's not what you said, so I'm not going to debate you anymore, and I'm going to try to get you arrested.
So I just putting this out there for anybody. Feel free to, like, you know, take his profile picture. Maybe you could go on like tiktok.com/his handle. You could save his profile picture, run it through some like reverse image search. Maybe it will link back to like a Facebook or something where you could find his name. Feel free to take that information and report it to CPS. I really hope that there's at least one person out of the 11,000 people watching right now that has the, you know, the technical know-how, the ability and the skill to find that information, and the desire to then turn around and take it to the authorities.
This is not only dangerous for that...
Yeah, he needs to go to, like, jail. For shit like this, you're doxing somebody. You're trying to get your audience to take their children. This is fucking crazy. How is this legal? It's not. It's not legal. No, but this is insane, dude. This is crazy.
A guy, as he could be swatted, but also teaching tons of viewers how to dox people is bad for the entire creator space because you're empowering crazies with information on how to harass people. This weaponizing the CPS and encouraging your viewers...
But trying to ruin a family because you wanted to prove yourself right in a debate is insane. Like, insane. Absolutely insane.
...to dox people is something you should go to jail for, yet Dean receives zero consequences for it. I don't think he even got in trouble with YouTube or TikTok despite it being against the rules. But of course...
Nope, because he is the largest leftist debater out there right now. As crazy as this actually is, he really is. And there are retards that are watching him. I don't think adults. I think kids mostly. Kids and libtard women. All right, kids and liberal white women. Those are his target audience. Because realistically, he has no legs to stand on here. This is horrible. Any person, and I mean any person that actually is an adult, that has any life experience, would see that and lose their mind. That is how insane it is.
This is all for the sake of the kids.
And yeah. We look out for children here. I think that we can all agree here.
We look out for children. So we're trying to remove a child from their parents and get them swatted and harassed. That'll definitely be good for the kids.
That we care about children's safety. And that was a father.
We care about children's safety, so therefore we're trying to ruin a child's life. That's the play. Yep.
Said that he believes he has every right to exploit and traffic his child.
Except he never said any of that.
And that the child has no say.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
No,
what happened was that you created one of your dumb hypotheticals to attack the caller because you're retarded and don't know how to have a conversation without being deceptive. The caller responded, "I would never do that because I think it's wrong," which was not the answer that you wanted, so you just went ahead and lied about what he said to get your audience to harass him with fraudulent CPS calls. Dean, you're literally a child predator. You said their parental rights should be taken away because you disagree with them on politics. Again, do you see why I called him evil? He's trying to alienate that kid from his mother and his father, or get them doxxed and swatted over an internet argument. That's predation on a kid. You're trying to cause harm to a child to get TikTok points, and quite honestly, I don't understand why none of these people face any legal consequences for openly committing crimes. Not to mention that social media platforms seem to enforce their rules on everyone else, except for people like this.
God, it's so cringe. He's acting so performatively right now. Like he's acting like he's like the coolest anime protagonist. Like he's calm, collected anime protagonist.
Dean did a follow-up video to this event where he doubles down and sort of fake apologizes. There's not much point in showing it because almost all of it is a rehash of what I just showed you, followed by talking about how he is morally justified to do what he did.
Yep, and that's why you should never ever trust any of these people or their morals. They're all frauds, every single one of them. I am morally justified. My moral stance is so true. You know what I base my morality on? Wanting to win the debate. Easy.
And at the very end, he gives a great Frogan-style non-apology where you say, I could have handled it better, instead of saying I'm sorry.
It's not called doubling down if you're right.
So Dean is like a complete psycho with how he will Andrew Tate-style scam people, take people out of context, and falsely accuse his opponents. I don't claim to have watched all of his content, but in the content I have watched, the dark triad debate tactics are always present. For example, this next video called, MAGA Bro Denies and Deflects His Way Through Our Entire Debate. What a title.
Dude, look at the dislikes on his videos. Even his own audience hates him. This is amazing. Oh my God, look at this. This is his own audience, man. Oh my God, dude.
I'm sure none of that is a projection. Anyway, this video is a heated discussion about illegal aliens and deportation.
I love that. I love that topic. That's a great topic.
I think that mass deportation is a terrible policy, and I usually categorize 3 reasons why. The first category would be the economy, the second category would be ethically, and the third category would be practically. It fails in the ethical category. I mean, that one's going to be obvious. We're ripping mothers and fathers that are hardworking away from their families.
Wow, that's
oh, he's not going to let him finish. Yeah, don't care. Sorry, don't care. I'm basing my ethics off my own ethical standpoint and ethics and morals, and therefore, if you disagree with my personal subjective opinion, you are therefore unethical and immoral. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Find God next time and come back to me. Why do I need these people? Why are we playing this game? Okay, let me give you a hypothetical, okay? All right, is it ethically immoral to arrest a dad if the dad's a murderer? All right, like hello, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, no, it's not ethical. If he commits a crime, he goes to jail. You should have considered it before you killed somebody, brother. So now that we've defined that dividing people and families is not inherently unethical if crimes are committed, yeah, deport the motherfucker. They could take their kids. Yes, we could do that. Yes, we can absolutely do that. And this is, again, the guy that thinks that it's super ethical. You can never divide a father from their children. The guy that just got his audience to call Child Protective Services to rip a child away from his parents is now fighting that criminals should not be imprisoned because it's dividing them from their children. Dude, it's like actual fucking hypocrisy light years of hypocrisy.
It's a super interesting thing that you said there. You mean to say that you think it's wrong to separate children from their parents? Weird how in this context that matters to you. With that said, I'm just going to summarize Dean's main points here to save us some time. Dean believes that deporting illegals hurts the economy because it lowers the GDP, which, by the way, is not a great example of the economic health of the average citizen. He says that deportation is not ethical and it's not practical. His current stance is that only the criminals should be deported. And
I agree, actually. I agree. Only the criminals should be deported. He's right. I agree with Dean on that one. Every single person in the country illegal is a criminal. Get them all out immediately. Get the fuck out. We have rules. We have borders. You're here illegally. You're a criminal. Get the fuck out. Yep, absolutely. Yes, sir. That's what I have to say.
For everyone else, all of them. What he says how he would handle people illegally crossing the U.S. border.
And then it fails in the category of practicality because it is really hard to do, and there's other solutions.
No, he doesn't think that. He doesn't think it's a crime.
Go about and use to identify everybody in this country, such as mass amnesty. That would be more practical.
Yeah, just don't.
Mass amnesty. Oh, the people that broke into the country illegally. Well, let's just make them legal. Based, Dean. What a solution!
Enforce the law. Yes. That's his solution. Give everyone legal status, basically. Make it not a crime to cross the border, which I guess technically would be a more practical way to identify people because maybe they would voluntarily report themselves to be registered. I mean, they could also voluntarily leave the country. That's an option as well. But more importantly, Dean's mass amnesty plan doesn't disincentivize millions of people from illegally crossing the border. In fact, it would encourage more people to do it, so it's not a solution. Every country has finite resources. You can't just give them all away for free like we're doing with illegals.
Dude, it's not a solution because then you have open borders. Then you have fucking terrorists and criminals wandering into the country. And then amnesty, oopsie poopsie, I'm American now. You want no borders? It obviously could never work. Also, you do realize that these people, right, they come into the country and they're given jobs that, you know, like, who will pick our cotton? Who will clean our toilets? We could pay them under minimum wage because they don't even fucking pay taxes half the time, all right? So you realize these people, they pop in, they're quote-unquote helping the economy because farmers are hiring them for cheap labor. Bro, if they're Americans now with mass amnesty, they're not cheap labor anymore. So the farmers are just going to need to hire new illegal immigrants. Like, dude, it's retarded on so many levels.
I also think this is completely tone deaf with how many legal immigrants hate the illegals. These days, I see videos of them getting dissed for not assimilating to American culture on a regular basis.
Hola, español.
Excuse me, does anyone speak Spanish?
No. ¿Hay alguien que habla español aquí? ¿Me da la número 10?
I'm sorry, we're close.
Damn right, don't help
them.
Also,
got him! Oh, shit!
Allow me to remind everyone that this is a bipartisan issue. Both the left and the right don't like illegals.
Agreed. It's just the leftist politicians need to make believe they like the illegals because Trump doesn't like the illegals. That's the play. That's the play. Yeah, no one likes the illegals because, you know what? Actually, everyone believes the country should have borders. Everyone believes that borders should be enforced. Everyone likes the fact that laws should be used. No one wants illegal people in the country. The only people that want illegal people in the country are people trying to steal the country, like the Democratic politicians and like the retard terrorist supporters and the people that just generally just hate white people. Those are the people that want illegals in the country. Get them the fuck out. Literally. I don't care if they're all doctors and engineers, baby. Kick them out.
Don't let grifters like Dean fool you into thinking that this is a left versus right battle. It's not.
Every leftist politician said that we need to enforce the border until Trump came along, and then they all changed their tune because the new leftist policy is just anti-Trump. They don't have any policies anymore. It's just Trump bad. So therefore, now all of them are suddenly on that side. Yeah, no one cares. Literally no one cares. They are illegal in the country. Get the fuck out. It's literally that easy.
Traditionally, the left has been very against illegal aliens, and most people don't want amnesty because it's bad for the country. Anyway, next the caller makes an excellent point in reference to Dean saying that he wants to deport the criminals.
I have been watching the news for the past 4 years, and it's nothing but immigrants and sex offenders, and you don't know their criminal history.
I would have liked to have played more, but Dean cuts him off almost instantly as he's about to make a good point. The point was that Dean said that he is for deporting criminals, but no one else. So the caller counters with, if they're coming over illegally, how do you know who has a criminal history so you can deport them?
Damn.
I think Dean's...
I go a step further. I think if you're coming in illegally, you are a criminal! All right, that's my opinion. That is my opinion. Obviously, I think you are already a criminal. Forget the history. You came in illegally, you're a criminal, get the fuck out. It's that simple. It's that easy.
Answer might be the amnesty thing, but then they would just not apply for it. Because if they do, they would get deported. So the only way to identify their criminal history under Dean's plan is to wait for them to get caught committing a crime. Do we not see a problem here?
Yeah, obviously.
American citizens have to be subjected to possibly multiple crimes from a single illegal alien before he gets caught when he could have just been deported. And that's just for the ones who get caught. Well, sorry, I mean the ones who get caught and aren't still allowed to remain in the country. Like
True, the ones that get caught and don't get released by people that want to look woke. And no, I would never arrest an illegal immigrant because I don't want it to look like I actually hate brown people. I love brown people, especially the rapists.
This guy was, who crashed his car and killed 2 people.
Fuck, dude.
So, Dean, if an illegal kills someone or commits a sex crime,
insane.
What do you say to the victim or their family knowing that you could have prevented that crime by enforcing border laws?
Yeah, and a lot of people say, but statistically, illegal immigrants aren't committing more crimes statistically than people legal in the country. First of all, I don't even know if that's true because the numbers are skewed because they let them out of jails. That's one. And two, and I think this is more important, one is too many. One is too many. And they'll tell you, but out of 1 million illegal immigrants, only 1 girl gets raped. That's too many girls getting raped, okay? They should have never been in the country. The stats don't matter. 1 is too many. Literally, fuck, why do we need to deal with this shit? Why do we need to deal with this as Americans? Okay, they're not American. They don't need to be in the country. They're not legally in the country. Literally get them the fuck out of the country. It's that easy.
Is Dean going to address this? No, he's going to immediately shift to accusations against Trump. Actually, immediately is the wrong word. It's worse than that. He doesn't even wait for the caller to stop talking before he cuts him.
Oh my god. But Trump is a felon. But Trump did crimes.
Off to change the narrative.
And if you actually look this up...
Do you think that we should get sex offenders out of the country?
Yes.
Then why'd you put a sex offender in the Oval Office? Donald Trump's been held civilly liable for the rape of a woman. Use your...
Wrong! That's a lie! Like, I love how he talks with such big words. It's not even true. It's not even true. Trump was found innocent on rape. You lying bitch. What are we fucking doing? And also, Trump is legal in the country. Why do you need to deal with rapists coming from other countries? Like, you are insane. He says grape instead of rape because he's a beta bitch boy.
Connect the dots. And and the funny part is like the people watching this stream are going to be like, damn, Dean just cooked him. Dean just clocked him. But no, I mean, like, it's just super common sense.
Oh my God, he's doing the thing. Everyone watching thinks I'm so based and cool and sexy and hot and awesome, and I'm so good at debating, and I just destroyed you. Everyone's thinking that. I know that they're probably not going to think that so much because I didn't let you speak, and also I'm a complete retard.
I think that sex offenders shouldn't be in America, but you put one in the Oval Office. How the hell can you retrospect upon that view and not come to the conclusion that you're just an absolute raging hypocrite?
So we are again going to try to move the conversation to something the caller might be unaware.
Oh, you don't like people that are illegal in the country raping women? Trump. Got him. It's over. Destroyed.
Aware of. So you can chastise him for 4 or 5 minutes about it to make everyone in your audience think he's stupid, so they ignore the fact that you never really addressed the question.
Let me ask you a question. What was that woman's name?
I don't know, but it was
I mean, gee, I would love to know the name of the...
let's talk about E. Jean Carroll, a lady who, in my opinion, is very likely a lying bitch. Yeah, 30 years after she allegedly gets raped, she shows up to sue Trump. Come on, dude, why are we playing this game? And, by the way, the court found him innocent of rape. They found him liable of sexual assault. They found him innocent of rape. But please, she comes out of the woodwork after 30 years to sue Trump when he's coincidentally running for president? Like, come on, dude.
The person that you're talking about so I can fact check you, but you never say it.
Okay, let me ask you a second question. What is one piece of evidence that the unanimous jury of 9 that ruled that Donald Trump was guilty of rape and are used to find him guilty?
I don't know that case.
You don't know any evidence that they used to find him guilty? Let me ask you a question.
They didn't. They found him innocent of rape. They actually found him innocent.
Did he rape her?
Like I said, I don't know about that case.
No year. He never raped her. According to the court, they found him innocent of rape. In fact, Trump sued ABC for calling him a rapist, and he won the lawsuit, and they paid him $60 million because he's not a rapist, according to the court. Oopsie poopsie. That's awkward. What a gigantic clown. It's unbelievable, smug fuck. I love how he says grape every time instead of rape, because he's talking in front of fucking Neanderthals and children.
No, what year?
You said that to me right now.
Oh, so you actually have no prior information about this woman, about the civil court case, about the jury that ruled he was guilty.
Yeah, that's exactly why you brought it up. You know he doesn't know about it, and because you...
And also, it's not relevant, let me remind you. It's completely irrelevant. Saying that I don't want 20 million illegal people in the country that could, for all I know, be rapists and murderers... to be in the country, and you coming back with saying, oh, but there was a guy who was found guilty of sexual assault and he paid her for it or whatever. I really don't see how that's even remotely relatable or similar. Yeah, rape is bad. That's my hot take. So let's mitigate the rapists as much as we can.
Probably already educated your audience on this topic. You can make him look stupid as a way of dismissing the very good point he was about to make about criminality. What Dean is doing is so messed up, and what's even more messed up is the case itself. But before we
get in there. I think the case is a sham. Personally, I do. That's just my personal opinion.
Into that, may I remind you that House Democrats are well known to use false allegations as a political weapon. So there's a strong chance that this was done against Trump for political reasons, like the false allegations of sexual assault against Brett Kavanaugh to try and prevent him from becoming the Supreme Court judge, and the riot they started for that same purpose. With that said, as for Trump, of course he was tried in civil court because the burden of proof is much lower in civil court, and he was accused of an assault by Jean Carroll that supposedly happened 20 years prior to the lawsuit.
Yep.
All right.
I'm really glad that we're bringing this up. If a lady decides to... look, man, I'm a big fan of justice, and I am not a fan of rapists. But if somebody, after 20 years, decides that they're going to sue somebody else of rape, after 20 years, when that person is running for president of the United States, literally at the peak of his popularity, and you decide to show up after 20 years to sue him, you're probably a fraud. You are probably a fraud. That's my opinion. But anyway.
Already throw that case out. It's way too old. The reason the statute of limitations exists is because people's memory gets shitty over time. The way they got around that was just to straight up change the law in New York to expand the statute of limitations.
Yep.
Anyway, to speed things up, Trump lost the case, but here's the thing. They did not find him guilty of rape, nor is he
true. And he was not found guilty of rape. So every time Dean Withers says that, he's defaming him. He's literally defaming him.
Legally a sex offender. So let me just point out, like I did earlier, that Trump sued and won against a CBS anchor.
Yep, I just showed that.
For accusing him of what Dean accused him of. And personally, I think Carol was lucky to get any victory on this case, considering that as far as I can find, really the only evidence she presented was her own story and a friend retelling her story. There wasn't a police report or a rape kit or a security camera or witnesses who were at the store who testified. So
That's why I think it would be a huge balls move if Trump just sued everyone that called him a rapist or a pedophile. I think it would be such an insane power play. And I would support it completely because I actually think defamation is bad. Yeah, defamation actually not a good thing. You know who else thinks defamation is bad? You know who else thinks defamation is bad? Let's see if I can find it. God! Leviticus 19:16. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Sorry, bro. That's what I have to say. Yep, that's it, bro. God thinks slander is bad. So, yeah, literally cook this little twink, please, Trump.
I have a really hard time believing a story from 20 years ago with essentially no evidence. Since we're on the subject of illegal border crossing, this is a person's story that Dean brought up a lot in videos that I watched.
Kilmar or Armando Abrego Garcia.
Yo! Oh, okay, so think before you sleep. The guy making this video, he asked me about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and I was like, you mean the human trafficking illegal immigrant gang member that beat his wife? And he was like, no. I was like, yeah.
He was an immigrant that was sent to Secot in El Salvador and beaten and tortured for 3 weeks. While he was there being beaten and tortured, the Supreme Court had unanimously ruled that the Trump administration's removal of him to El Salvador was illegal and they had to facilitate his return. And then after they ruled it as illegal and told them that they had to facilitate his return.
Why was it illegal? He's such a disingenuous fuck. Say why it was illegal. Oh my God, these people are so insane. It was illegal because at the time he didn't want to be returned to his homeland of El Salvador because he was afraid that they would hit him because he was a gang member. So he's afraid they would kill him there in El Salvador. So he wanted to not go back there. So the judges decided that he shouldn't go back there. Then Bukele ended up getting elected and cleaning up the fucking country. And so after that happened, in my opinion, it's perfectly fine to put him in El Salvador because they cleaned that shit up. They arrested the gang members. So in my opinion, fuck yeah. But now it's also important to mention that the court, this is very important to mention, that the court did say that he needs to get deported. Trump's mistake was deporting him to El Salvador instead of deporting him somewhere else. And also, I think that the reason is irrelevant. Yeah, get him the fuck out. He's a terrorist. He's a fucking terrorist. Gang member, wife beater, allegedly. Why do we care? I don't understand why this guy is the hero of the left.
Trump's White House went on Twitter and said that he's literally never coming back. And this was all while Abrego Armando Garcia was being beat and literally tortured by the...
First of all, he got fatter in prison. And second of all, don't care. He could have left himself. He could have self-deported. He was illegal in the country. They had a deportation about him, and they deported him. Good.
Guards in Secot in El Salvador. I mean, he's like testified to been forced to kneel from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
No, he testified about himself. That's probably trustworthy.
If he fell out of exhaustion, he would have been beat by the guards.
He's a terrorist. He is a terrorist, human trafficker, illegal in the country, wife beater. Why is the left defending him?
But that he was beat by the guards. Testified that the guards kind of like stuck him in a really small room with bright...
And also, I don't care about a single testimonial of his. He literally is not trustworthy. Why do you believe him? Fuck, I don't care.
Bright fluorescent lights on 24/7 with no windows.
As far as I'm aware, there's no actual proof of the torture claims.
Yeah, it's just his own testimony, which is irrelevant. I do not care. I don't care. Hitler says I didn't kill the Jews, actually. Oh, thanks, Hitler. I don't care. Your testimony is worthless. Literally, fuck you.
Yes, testimony and the reputation of the prison. God. Now, at face value, what I would say is that if this guy was wrongly deported, then you bring him back, apologize, give restitution, and then change protocol so that over time this kind of thing becomes less likely. Realistically, if you're deporting millions of people, then logistically you're going to have some hiccups. However, you know, when I first heard Dean tell this story before I fact-checked it, I thought
yeah. I think that's before he messaged me about it. And then I was like, oh, no. No, this guy's bad.
This guy was a legal citizen and they just wrongfully threw him out of the country.
Wrong.
That's not the case. It turns out that Abrego Garcia is not an immigrant like Dean said he was.
Wrong. He is an illegal alien gang member.
he was an illegal alien. What actually happened was that Garcia crossed the border illegally and resided here for like 8 years before he went to an immigration court and got a hold on his deportation because he claimed his life was in danger. I can't exactly figure out why he was at the court, but he got arrested for loitering around a Home Depot, so that might be why. Really,
he was also caught human trafficking.
Fighting those stereotypes. But just on those grounds, I think he should be deported because instead of applying for something like asylum right away...
in my opinion, he should be deported because I have a much simpler clause. I have a very simple clause. If you're illegal in the country, you shouldn't be in the country. It is literally that easy. It is literally that easy.
Avoided the government for a bunch of years, and I believe only applied after he got caught.
I think every single illegal immigrant... Bro! Blue retard jump scare, and once again, he's back. He's fucking back. How does he keep... I don't know how he keeps coming back.
The government for a bunch of years, and I believe only applied after he got caught.
I think every single illegal immigrant in the country should be removed. That's why we have laws. That's why we have borders. Kick them out of the country. That's right. Kick every illegal immigrant out of the country. There is zero troll when I say that every single person in America illegally should be removed. If you are illegal in the country, leave.
Not far enough.
Blue guy was spinning. He was right. Come on, dude. I was right. I'm just saying, yes. I have been so consistent. Like, it's crazy how consistent I've been. They've been trying so hard to catch me on this. I have been so consistent. It is that easy, yes.
H-1B visas are the slave labor of the middle class because you can just fire them and essentially get them deported if they try to organize. These visas need to be cut way the hell down. Microsoft should not be firing American workers to get cheap labor from India.
There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay.
Listen, man. There is no one as useful as sort of licensed Indian engineers. They are easily the cream of the crop. You cannot find Americans quite as proficient in their duties as Indian engineers and scholars, whether they're licensed or not, goddammit.
You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first.
Allow me to remind everyone that Shoe on Head is on the left and also a fan of that Bernie Sanders clip where he says that open borders are a scam.
Yeah, by the way, I think that Bernie Sanders is a freak. I know a lot of people like him. I don't. I don't know why everyone likes this guy. Like, he's not likable at all. He's a complete hypocrite fraud.
Immigration policy is not a right versus left issue. Most Americans...
Yeah, it's a normal versus inhuman issue. It really is. Countries need borders. It's been like that since the dawn of time.
Americans do not want open borders.
Bernie is based on borders. Bernie was based on borders until Trump showed up, and now he's calling Trump bad for everything. All right? Literally, shut up, okay? Like, dude... You have no morals if your entire political opinion is Trump bad. Sorry.
Borders. Anyway, back to Abrego Garcia. He was trying to skirt the system, and he should not have been rewarded for doing that. His ass should have been deported back in 2019. Wait,
Dude, you realize Bernie Sanders hated millionaires until he became a millionaire, and then he just started hating billionaires. Like, you do realize that, right? Like, he is a socialist that is a multi-millionaire that owns 7 mansions. Okay? Right? He said borders are important until Trump started deporting immigrants. And now he's saying Trump is Hitler for it. Like, I'm sorry, man. I have no respect for that.
Actually did apply for asylum, but was denied because that's supposed to be done within a year of arriving to the country.
Yeah, true.
Case judge. Unfortunately, that was overturned. However, here's the interesting thing. There's a lot of evidence that Garcia is an MS-13 gang member, and after applying for asylum, the BBC says he got a withhold of removal status because he said that he was afraid of being persecuted by the rival gang of MS-13, so that is suspicious as fuck. Behavior and accusations. I know that Dean is a believe all women type because I've watched him crash out over it.
Yeah, that's Dean. I believe all women unless they are beaten by their husbands if their husbands are gang members, and unless they are Jews in Israel, all right? So aside from those groups of people, I believe all women.
So these following allegations in Dean's eyes should be as good as true. That being said, Garcia has been accused of domestic violence multiple times by his wife, who I'm guessing he isn't legally married to.
I'm pretty sure 3 times. I'm pretty sure his wife said that he beat her 3 separate times.
And the only reason they didn't stand is because she didn't show up to court, which might be because he threatened her or someone in the family emotionally bullied her knowing he could be deported. Garcia also is currently on trial for trafficking tons of illegals, and it sounds like he's guilty. Personally,
they caught him on body cam driving a car without a license with 7 Mexican fellows that were not legal in the country in the backseat. That's what happened, I think, if my memory is right. That's what they caught him, okay? Now, there's no evidence it was trafficking. He just coincidentally drove them from the border to Chicago. Okay. All right, dude. No evidence of trafficking here at all. Okay. I'm just saying it's suspicious. Okay. Maybe he was driving them to the Chicago Home Depot. Okay. Maybe.
I think it's very unlikely that you're this close in proximity to this much criminal behavior if you aren't a criminal. His trial is still ongoing, so I guess we'll see what happens, but I think this is exactly the type of person that Dean said should be deported, yet he's defending him.
Because he's an immoral, grifting fuck. He's a spineless bitch. There is no reason to take him seriously.
All undocumented immigrants that were deported under Obama without any prior violent offenses, I disagree with that too. My view on immigration is actually a little bit further left-leaning than the Democrat Party.
Whether he gets...
Dude, leftists are so cooked. They're so fucking cooked. They're so fucking cooked. Bro, every single leftist voice is more left than the leftists in America. Every single one of them. Oh my God.
Residency or not, may I point out that Dean brought up Kilmar Abrego Garcia in every debate video that I watched.
I love that people bring him up. And I think everyone that brings him up is a retard.
Think about what that implies. It implies that...
I'll tell you what it implies, because I said this to... I don't know if... Think before you sleep. I don't know if he's going to say it, but I'll tell you what I told him. I said there has not been one instance of an actual legal person in America deported. If the only ammo they have, their only ammo is Abrego Garcia, right? Then they have no actual evidence of anyone ever being deported. I want to see if I can find the fucking message I sent him, because that was a funny message. All right, so he was talking to me about this Abrego Garcia guy. He's like, basically, that's what the wiki says. Flat out admitting he's a wife beater. Dean brought this guy up in every video, and when I read the story, I just laughed my ass off. That was the best example of someone being wrongly deported he had. I got shit for this, but I'm gonna tell you something. Not one legal immigrant was even accidentally deported. They're all shitting themselves over due process and shit. They haven't made one single mistake. True, by the way. They have not made one error. Not one. Okay? If the best you can do is a wife beater, human trafficker, illegal immigrant with a deportation order, then you are on the wrong side.
The deportation of people who have some legal right to be here happens so infrequently that this is the example that he has to use. So like I said, I think Dean purposefully brings up these very nuanced cases that are incredibly difficult to research to make people look stupid so he doesn't have to address any actual arguments.
True.
I mean,
don't you know what happened in court in 2004? No. Oh my God. You don't know anything.
It took me hours to read through Abrego Garcia's case. And worse, he'll actually make fun of and bully people for trying to fact check him live.
I'm trying to find something here, trying to look it up as we're going. Okay. Say the question so I can type it in.
Say the question so you could type it in? Type it into where? ChatGPT?
No, not ChatGPT and Safari, so I can see what you're talking about.
Wait, you see what I'm talking about?
Again, no one...
You don't know the super vague example that I gave? I mean, I know literally for a living... I talk about politics, and you are just some random guy on TikTok, but you don't even know this hyper-nuanced case about one of the thousands of illegal immigrants that was deported? Oh my God! Oh my God!
One person can know everything there is to know about politics, so the point is to purposefully bring up a random fact or a story to make your opponent look stupid, and its relevance to the conversation doesn't matter that much. It gets worse with Dean, though, because when a different caller actually does get him on something, he just changes the rules of the debate. In this call, they're talking about the border again, and Dean is busy saying that Trump violated the Constitution, so...
Trump violated the Constitution. Anyway, we should try to depose him from presidency and steal the country with illegal votes. Wow.
As a gotcha point, Dean asked the caller to name a Democrat who has committed a crime to create some sort of metaphor.
Dude, I could do this too. I want you to give me an example of anything illegal that any Democrat has ever done.
Obama made up that Russia was controlling Trump in order to steal the country. Hillary knew about this and still pushed that. Bill Clinton was fucking his secretary and was probably on Epstein's Island 28 times to the point that Epstein even had paintings of him in his room. Every single person in Congress is probably insider trading. Every single one, all of them, yet literally all of them. All right, so anyone else? Are we good? Like, literally, are we good?
Anything.
Adam Schiff probably did mortgage fraud. Letitia James also. How many times? How many times do we need to do this?
Illegal that any Democrat has done.
Yes, ever.
I mean, Bill Clinton with a 17-year-old Monica Lewinsky.
Got him.
Monica Lewinsky wasn't 17.
Questionable.
Okay. Okay. So she was 24 in 1997, but you're saying that she was under the age of 18 when she started going to the White House. Maybe this was like potential coercement. Okay, I'm not going to use that as an example to show my hypothetical. Would you give me an...
So Trump on the Howard Stern show saying that I went backstage at beauty pageants, not even talking about minors, is enough for him to call him a pedophile. But this is not enough.
Another example, okay? Andrew Cuomo, what about him? He was a governor, by the way.
Governor, yes.
What did he step down for?
For sexual harassment.
To be fair, I can't confirm if these specific Clinton grooming allegations are true or not.
Yeah, it's not the point. They all committed crimes. Like, why are we doing this? All of them. What are we talking about?
And sexual harassment is the least of Cuomo's crimes, but Dean just got wrecked. Is he going to disavow these people like he constantly...
You disavow every criminal? Like, dude, they're all... First of all, they all do financial fraud. Like, come on, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, are you actually joking me? Nancy Pelosi on a salary of $150K a year is worth $200 million. Like, come on, dude, please.
Ask people to disavow Trump? No, he's not. He's instead basically going to tell the caller that's not fair and change the terms of the question that he asked.
Can you give me an example of like something illegal that a Democrat has done that isn't like sexual? Like, because I'm just, okay, I'll explain to you the point that I wanted to make.
Could you give me an example of something a Democrat has done that is incredibly nuanced in my very, 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 very tight pussy?
But you're like only bringing up examples of like sexual harassment and pedophilia, and I don't want to like describe what I want, like my retort to your original argument.
He calls Trump a pedophile in every single one of his videos. This fucking lesbian over here calls Trump a pedophile in every video, but he doesn't let this happen.
As it relates to like sexual harassment or pedophilia, I just don't want to distort like an allegation of SA or P3.
Oh, okay. So what about financial fraud? Like every single person in Congress is doing.
Pedophilia.
I mean, that's real strange of you to request that in this case, considering all the statements that you made about Trump. He was trying to create a metaphor out of this around confirmation bias, where he would hypothetically say that as a Democrat, any crime a politician commits doesn't count as long as he likes them. And the reason he didn't want to use the caller's examples is because he didn't want to distort the allegations of a sex crime. Bro, you literally have done that multiple times to your opponents, to the extent where you might be found guilty of defamation if you were sued.
Dude, please, Trump, please. It would be so funny. It would be so funny. Sue this lesbian.
The hypocrisy here is ridiculous, and there's so much bias. In this next clip, they're talking about how the caller thinks that America should not grant birthright citizenship to the children of illegals, because that should only be granted to people with parents who are citizens. During this, Dean argues that deporting somebody with the current legal interpretation of birthright citizenship is a constitutional violation.
Okay, but now you're saying that you just legally, so you morally don't support giving citizenship to the children of undocumented immigrants. Well, I mean, that would call for like taking the proper legal channels in order to amend the Constitution, okay? Right, we obviously can't just say because Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution and you agree with it, that you don't like the Constitution either, that you could just throw the Constitution out of the fucking window.
Sure, it is unconstitutional. I mean, I could take the L on that and say that EO was unconstitutional.
Okay, all right, the EO is unconstitutional. And then earlier in the conversation, you said, well, if it was unconstitutional, why?
Look, you're allowed to think things that the Constitution doesn't say. Like, he's trying to hit you for thought crimes that you think that ethically the child of illegal immigrants shouldn't get citizenship, and then they have to hit you with this whole constitutional shtick. He's not trying to change the law. He's just telling you his ethical and moral opinion. I don't understand why this is crazy.
Why hasn't he been impeached for this? Basically telling me and everybody else listening that you think if a president does something unconstitutional, such as an EO banning birthright citizenship or banning guns, they should be impeached. So now that I've got you to concede that that was unconstitutional...
He has no idea what anything is. He has no idea that you can actually change the shit. You can make amendments. Is he so retarded? Like it's crazy. And I think he knows this, and he does like this fake outrage, bad faith debate bullying tactic to get him to buckle down. Like, he knows. I think he knows how it works. He's assuming that the person he's talking to doesn't know how it works.
You're now going to turn around and call for his impeachment, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so then you're no longer a Trump supporter because you think he should be thrown out of office.
I'm still a conservative.
I mean, this is just ridiculous.
It's
Remember
crazy.
how Dean talked about how much he likes Obama? Well, Obama constantly violated the Constitution.
Obama dropped 26,000 bombs. Like, dude, what are we fucking talking about? None with congressional approval, by the way.
While I will say that I do believe that we should take the proper legal channels to amend birthright citizenship, what I really don't like is how people like Dean will say that you're violating the Constitution if you want to deport kids with their parents, but at the same time, if you want to follow the Constitution by saying only the parents have to leave, well, then you're separating families if a sociopathic parent refuses to take their kids with them when they get deported.
Shit.
So this is like intentionally designed to be an unwinnable argument through emotional bullying. The correct answer is to not play this game by saying that you don't care and by saying that they shouldn't have broken the rules and they can either fly a plane back to their country of origin with their kids, or those kids can
He's
go
right.
into the
That's
system.
right. That's right. You don't need to play your stupid bitch boy game. Sorry, bro. I don't need to play vagina checkers with fucking Dean Withers. Yes, I don't care. I do not care. Get them out. Literally, yes. So real.
Them being negligent parents is not our problem. They have the option to be with their kids if they want. 2, I think probably most people would agree that birthright citizenship should be abolished for children born to non-citizens or people without some legal status like a green card. We're all quite tired of illegals using anchor babies as human shields while saying, have some compassion to stay in the country. Trying to manipulate people by threatening to abandon your child if the U.S. deports you for breaking the law is very morally close to child trafficking.
They talk to us so that they may deceive us. Every word is a baited trap. They're monsters who found they could lure in humans by crying, "Help me."
If you're willing
He used it twice! Right, so maybe this was the context that he was referring to. He's afraid that people think that he's going to be calling brown people monsters, that every word is a trap. No! No, that's obviously not what he's implying, okay? It's just manipulative language, okay? That's what he's saying.
to throw your child away
Have some compassion for the 300,000 children lost at the border under Biden's presidency. Have some compassion!
like that or use them as a means to an end, then I don't have any sympathy for you. But speaking of Obama, Dean, where were you on all those Fourth Amendment violations that Obama did through the Patriot Act? And since we're talking about taking the proper legal channels, did Obama do that when he started enacting all the gun control during his presidency? No, he didn't. But I guess that's okay because your friend Harry Sisson said that guns were scary.
So I shot a gun for the first time today, and I've always been told by Republicans that after the first time, I'll be in favor of guns and I'll want more guns. But for me, it was the exact opposite.
Sir, you are an entire vagina. You are a vagina. Like, this is crazy. Like, in anatomy class in school, they just need to show this guy instead. I don't even know what we're doing here. You are a unbelievable pussy. I don't know why. Like these are the leftist people. These are the people that are being looked up to by the left. It's amazing. These are the new generation of libtards. Bro, what is even happening? Oh my god, dude. What a pussy. Guns are awesome, okay? You suck. You absolutely suck.
I realized how,
you know, dude, I'm just telling you, man. The next, like, dude, for those of you that are about, some of you are gonna get this joke, some of you won't, but for those of you that do, all right, for those of you that get this joke, it's perfect. All right, hear me out. All right, let me see if I could, yeah, all right. Do you get it? Do you get it? All right, if you get it, you get it. All right, if you get it, you get it. All right, some of you probably get it, some of you probably don't, but if you get it, you get it.
guns and I'll want more guns, but for me, it was the exact opposite. I realized how powerful these guns are, and
they're so powerful. Yes, exactly. Correct. True. So if someone breaks into your house and wants to kill you, you could kill them first. Yes, very based.
Moment's notice, they can be used to take someone's life. And the fact that in many states in this country, you can walk into one of these stores and 10 minutes later walk out with an AR-15 is absurd.
AR-15? What? Huh? Well, he got community noted. Wait. Pursuant to federal law, retailers are required to submit an ATF and NIZ as on a check on people purchases prior to copy sale. Contrary to the claim made, one does not walk out of a gun shop with an AR-15. Yeah, obviously not.
Absurd. This experience made me want more gun control, not less.
So you are anti-constitutional, right? So you are against the Constitution is what you're saying?
Less.
Jeez, is he the one who Dean called the F slur? Oh, and here's one of my favorite Obama moments where he openly says that he was going to use executive orders to subvert the Constitution.
We are not just going to be waiting for legislation in order to make sure that we're providing Americans the kind of help that they need. I've got a pen and I've got a phone, and I can use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive actions and administrative actions that move the ball forward.
This is your hero, right, Dean?
Bro,
also,
crazy.
he actually says this multiple times.
I'm going to be working with Congress where I can to accomplish this. But I'm also going to act on my own if Congress is deadlocked. I've got a pen to take executive actions.
Oh God,
where
he does
Congress
that all
won't.
the time.
And I've got a telephone to rally folks around the country on this mission.
But I guess none of that matters to people like Dean because it's not about you or making good arguments or admitting to faults. It's about...
And you see, Dean very much followed his idol Obama. Not only are they both black lesbians, but also, Dean has a pen. He uses it for anxiety.
Winning and making money. Well, it's a lot more about the money part.
This is every single time I see him actually. He had me 3 times in the video. Dude, I love this guy. This guy's so based. Holy shit. All right. What do you got for us, blue retard? What do you got for us today?
Winning and making money. Well, it's a lot more about the money part.
This is every single time I see him actually doing a debate. He'll do like these weird gotchas. He'll be like, do you think that the Bible is moral? And he'll be like, yeah, I think the Bible is moral. Oh, the Bible allows slavery. You're pro-slavery? Guys, this guy's pro-slavery. It always becomes him trying to trick people into like admitting to like paradoxes and stuff. It's like someone will say, yeah, I believe in God. And then he'll be like, oh, really? Could God create a boulder that even he can't lift? And it's like, bro, this is like, what are we doing? Oh, you can't answer the question. Do you concede God is not real? And it's like, oh my.
Dean does that because he's not smart enough to succeed without it.
That was a good clip. You did good there, Mr. Think Before You Sleep, son. That was a good clip. I agree with myself. Past Nuxanor was literally completely right. Yes! True! And that's what he actually does this. He actually fucking does this. He hits you with these stupid hypotheticals. It's crazy. It's insane.
And the rules for radicals tactics that he's using.
If God told you to rape a child, would you rape the child? God's never gonna tell me to rape a child. So what you're saying is if he did tell you to rape a child, you would. Oh my God, you're a pedophile. Call CPS. Like, that is literally his move. Dude, I am so consistent, it's crazy.
Are incredibly hard to defeat without the debate turning into a shouting match. So if you're Dean, then you either win or you draw. And a draw is always considered a win by a person's own fan base. I think the only person who has successfully defeated this in my memory is Jordan Peterson against Kathy Newman, and then a second time with that GQ lady. But like I said, the only reason they're doing this is because they can't succeed otherwise.
The reason why they do this is because they're not getting any attention for their actual content. And so instead of that, they piggyback on internet hate mobs online in order to create the illusion of relevancy. That's what's happened.
To be clear, Asmongold is talking about Anthony Fantano here, but this situation bears a close resemblance to Dean failing at his Andrew Tate grift.
It's because all these people are complete and utter virtue signaling retards. They have no morals, they have no backbone, they have no spine, and therefore they will continue fucking dying. People ultimately know that. And I think even though they are anti-Trump, and you want to be anti-Trump because Trump bad, all right? And you're going to sit there and say Trump bad every single fucking time. All right, every single time. You don't actually appreciate anything they say because it's based on fucking spiderwebs and bullshit. Like, dude, their arguments are held together with spit and duct tape, okay? Literally. They have nothing on their side.
And then moving on to woke TDS virtue signaling. It's not about the morals, it's about the money. And to be clear again, I'm not saying that as a content creator you can't make money, but if you're doing so immorally, then that's a problem.
That's a grift.
And you know people like Dean don't give a fuck about morals, because if they cared about...
Dude, he contradicts himself in every fucking debate he has. He contradicts himself. He doesn't engage with the actual points being made, literally ever. He used to be an Andrew Tate boy, like frat bro, and then he switched to become a super male feminist, hyper male feminist dude. Like, dude, literally, all these people are fucking the same. They're all grifters.
That, then they wouldn't constantly...
I've been consistent. Like, a lot of people say that I'm a right-wing grifter because I'm making right-wing content. Can I tell you something? This is going to shock you. You could go back through my history of videos, my literal decade of making videos on the internet, okay? You can go back to the oldest fucking content you'll find, all right, where I was like making anime reviews and shit. You will never see me contradicting what I'm saying now. Maybe I changed my mind on a few things, but you will never see an actual contradiction, right? You will never see any virtue signaling. Black Lives Matter was going on and I wasn't like making political content. You will never see a single video where I was like literally going out there and preaching and shit. Never, ever. It never happened. Never. You will never see me going out on like these, you know, gigantic tirades. I just pulled the mask off eventually, but I never can contradict myself in that regard. I haven't.
Lie and misrepresent everything because that harms the audience and the country. They also wouldn't call the CPS over an internet fight. These people are criminals, and they need to actually get punished for doing bad things. There's been a severe lack of that happening in this country, and what that does is it allows retards to speak over the smarter and more honest people on their side. Smart videos like this one here by Sean that was pretty good, or this one by Man Carrying Thing. The idea is to create a culture where people are actively
I like Man Carrying Thing.
looking for creators who are trying to be honest in their interpretation or their analysis, instead of looking to people like Dean Withers or Andrew Tate who are just there to scam their audience for money. And the answer to that is to actually hold people accountable for their crimes, which is something that we're actually getting better at slowly recently. People are starting to learn that mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent.
Yes! Oh my God, I say that all the time! True.
And that applies personally as much as it does politically. Politics is just the representation of the sum total of everyone's personal lives, meaning that the more you let people walk all over you and the more that you don't hold people accountable for doing bad things in your personal life, the more you'll enable that to be done politically. Because if everyone's just a pushover, then we won't have enough strong people to stop all the criminals. And for those...
Look, man, you know what they say. You know what they say. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create strong women. Strong women create bad times. That's what we say here. It's true. It's not easy.
Asking what to do or how they can make things better, all you have to do is stop putting up with bullshit. That's all it takes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on...
That was a great fucking video. What a good ass video. Holy moly. Definitely subscribe and check him out. Link in the description, of course. He is great. He is really good. Yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I did. I love woke downfalls. I love retard downfalls. This was a retard woke downfall. I'll see you in the next one for more woke retards. I love them. They love me. They don't love me so much, but I love that they don't love me. It makes me fun. I appreciate it. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. If you are illegal in the country, leave. Wow, hot take. I'll debate anyone on that shit. It's easy, it's literally not easy, bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.